Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Conversations in Pop Culture. I'm your host, Andrew Davis, and we are back in the saddle once again and back to the basics. I haven't done one of these in quite a few weeks, so obviously we got a lot going on. And before I get to my guest, I do want to basically remind everybody of my sponsor here, which is Pocket Jack Comics. We have books like Palace of the Golden Princess, White Lily, and you can find their books at pocketjackcomics.com, and they are being distributed by Filbo Distributions. So please go check out what they do and check out my good friend Filbo. I think he does if you want to distribute and publish your comic book, and I think he's involved in printing. And I know that's a whole mess, so we might get into that as well. But enough about that, because I have with me game board designer, comic creator, novelist Chris Brown. So welcome back to the show, man.
How you doing? All right, we'll see you.
Ah, great, we're done. We're done.
An easy day.
Well, that was the most successful interview. No. Obviously, you got a lot going on. You got a Kickstarter that's going to be coming out for Slaughterville. The 4th expansion, I think, is the nicest, easiest way how to say it. Obviously, you can still get the board game if you didn't already have it. So if you need the board game or you need basic components, or if you need, and I'm sure we're going to get into it in a second here, and you could basically, we're going to go through it all. But why don't you quickly introduce who you are, because you just don't do Slaughterville, and I've kind of tipped my hat a little bit, but there's people who know who you are, who don't know who you are. So quick introduction before we get into the whole game, Slaughterville, and all that fun stuff.
Yeah, I'm just Chris Brown, not that one. And but yeah, I've been making comics, novels, board games, RPGs since 2005. Actually, it's when I had my first book published. So it's been a long time. I like telling stories. I like making games and things that people can have fun with, and then they can have stories to tell after they're done playing. And as long as you can do that, then I've done my job.
Cool. So let's talk about this, because obviously, Slaughterville, it's a multimedia facet now. It might be the way how to put this. Where it's obviously there's some comic stuff with it, there's some novel stuff with it, and there's but the main facet of it is the board game stuff.
Yeah.
And so what is the basic concept of it before we get into it too deeply? Because every board game is different, right? I mean, you have Settlers of Catan, Shadows over Camelot, and I mean, there's like 4. I mean, I forget the game where you play against the island, and there's games you can play against the game.
Oh yeah.
I forget. I always forget the name of it. It's a great game. I was playing it like 3 weeks ago. It's been a long week for me.
Yeah.
Just so everybody's well aware. But yeah, so why don't you kind of explain a little bit about what Slaughterville is and all that stuff? Because again, there's people who don't know what this is who are going to be watching this.
Sure. My main goal with this game was to make it mechanically simple to play, and it really, really is. But it tells a story, right? So it's a narrative thing that allows you to take, because I'm sure everybody's watched. Have you watched horror movies?
Yeah.
Okay. Have you ever yelled at the screen? Don't go in there, dumbass.
I wouldn't say I've yelled at the screen, but I've thought it, right?
Exactly. And that's what this game does, is it lets you take control of one of those characters as you travel through the town of Slaughterville. You build it out of 6 locations, and find out if you really would go in that crazy asylum, or if you really would go into the abandoned shopping mall, right? And as you explore, you're trying to find items, clues, and allies in order to get help to stop one of the, I think we're up to 24, 26 different villains, something like that. I don't have the number off the top of my head, but it's a lot.
So let's talk about this, because obviously you've dealt with a bunch of stuff, and I don't want to go into game mechanics because we've already spoken about that in several other interviews. So go check them out if you haven't already.
Exactly.
Interviews. But what is this like? Because there is a component, I think, and I think it applies to comics, it applies to television, it applies to a lot of things, and maybe it doesn't apply to sports, because every season in sports the goal is to win, and
of course
you don't need to reinvent the game of football, every season, because there's a game between 2 teams, and you have new players coming in. But for games, anime, comics, television shows, you always need some new hook or some new concept in there. So what is that like? Because adding a new villain in and potentially adding a new mechanic in it's I don't know exactly what that is like, but you always need something fresh in play, I guess, might be the way
Yeah,
how I would describe it. But it's also tricky because trying new things is complicated, but also adding new components is necessary. And
hmm
what is that like? Because it's expensive, but it's also a necessity, I
it
guess.
absolutely is. The beautiful thing is I build all of my games to be completely modular. In other words, I can drag and drop any villain, location, character into this game and set them up. And I'm a computer programmer, right? So I built that from the ground up. I wanted this to be something where even 20 years from now, if I come up with a new villain or a new location, you can sync it right up. And this expansion is going to work with every single copy of Slaughterville ever made. Um, but it's the thing is, as you said, to try to make it unique, not make it redundant. There's going to be some redundancy, like there's going to be some cards that are similar to others, but you want to try to make them thematically and mechanically different enough so that it feels like a new experience when you're playing. For instance, I did one in this expansion called the Escape Room, which is completely different from anything I've ever done with it. Where once you start exploring that one of the cards on the location is now you're in an escape room. You can't get out until you complete the card or die because you might die. Yeah, you're in a horror town. You're gonna die. Um, and the same thing with the villains. Like I started designing a couple of them, and they felt really similar to ones that I've done before. And I would say this to the wife, and I'm like, then I don't want it because if all you're doing is the same thing as you're doing in one of the other villains, why do you want the new ones? So that is my biggest challenge, is especially after 24 villains or 26 something wherever we're at now. I know there's over 80 characters in there, 20 something locations, is trying to keep everything unique and fresh. But one of the things I definitely did, and I recommend anybody going into game design to do this, start with a spreadsheet. I know it's nerdy, I get it, but start with the spreadsheet, have a set number value um, for whatever it is you're designing, and then stick to it. Otherwise, you have what happens to Magic or have most CCGs, that power creep where now all of a sudden your old stuff is pointless and the new stuff is way too powerful. But if you have something like that to keep you grounded, it's a breeze doing this.
So let's actually talk about that a little bit too, because
Sure.
obviously, I mean, you brought up Magic, and I don't know
Yes.
what games you play, but there's brokenness in
Oh my
games.
lord.
I mean, it's a problem.
Mm-hmm.
I used to play Magic the Gathering, and I
Mm-hmm.
used to have a Goblin deck, and let's just say that in 5 turns, I could kill a lot of people.
Yeah.
Um, pretty sick. Understanding how to use a Goblin Chieftain, a Goblin Chieftain, a Goblin King, a Goblin King, and a Spike Shot Goblin, and now you have a Spike Shot Goblin that can directly attack your opponent for 12 attack points in 2 turns. Well, you're dead. Um,
Mm-hmm.
it's pretty sick. Yeah, I guess it gets way worse than that though. But not the point here. But like, what is that like too, to have also fair mechanics and also to make it nerdy and also
Mm-hmm.
keep it consistent, because that's an issue too, right?
Yes.
And I don't want to go too deep into this, or maybe we
Of course.
should, but there's issues of consistency in comics, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, there's good stories, bad stories, a lot of other stuff, and I mean that's a real issue in anything, let alone when you're building a game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, making sure that things are consistent is key. Now, it is often understood that artists will change sometimes between games. Thankfully, I use stock images, so it doesn't really change all that much. But when you were talking about the quality, like I have a game here. I'm telling you straight out, I love it to death. It's called Betrayal at House on the Hill. Right, you build a haunted house and you go through the haunted house with other players, but then at one point, one of you turns traitor and you're the bad guy. Okay, you can tell easily some of these things were not play tested at all. and they were by famous designers. But it's somebody did not maintain that quality, and that's why whenever I do the Kickstarter stuff or the crowdfunding, whatever you want to call it, I don't go there unless I'm ready to hit print. Unlike a lot of people, and I'm sure you've seen it too, where it'll take years and years to get books, games, whatever you're getting. If I'm not ready to hit print, except for stretch goal stuff, some stretch goal stuff I need to design, then I don't go. So right now, I'm ready to go, but I'm building up the audience in order to get the campaign stuff out.
Let's talk about that, right?
Yes.
Because I don't know how you feel, but I think that's a big issue in crowdfunding right now,
What's
where
that?
people aren't ready to go and they're not ready.
Thank you.
And I don't really care if you say, "Oh, the book's done, the art's paid for." When I hear that, I don't even. Sometimes it's true, sometimes it's not.
Mhm.
I mean, if it's ready to go and you tell me it's ready to go, and then it takes you another 3 months to get it to me after your due date, then you are not ready to go. By
Right.
definition, I mean, this isn't, this is not the lawyer in me or the political science major or the pre-law student. It's just logic, right?
Mhm.
When I say to somebody, I'm ready to do an interview tomorrow night, right? I'm ready to go now.
Yeah.
I mean, if somebody reaches out to me at 2 in the afternoon and wants to do an interview at 9 o'clock, I'm ready to go at 7 o'clock for the most part, depending on my day, right?
Mhm.
On what's going on. So, I mean, but like, I think that's a real issue, right?
Mhm.
And I don't think it's a board game issue. I think it's just a collective crowdfunding issue.
True.
And I'm
Yeah.
a consumer on this. So I see it as a consumer. I don't see it as a person in Kickstarter. I'm just like, hey, you said it. I was going to get my product in May and I didn't get it till August.
Mhm.
You were not ready to go.
Yep.
Yet you said the book was done or you said the board game was done. I mean, and it's a trust issue. I think it's a
Yes.
real trust issue.
Yeah.
And after 4, 5, 6 of these, but it's also extremes, right? I'm not
Mhm.
going to need people, but like somebody took 14 months to get me their book.
Mhm.
And they said it was done already. And I'm like,
Yeah.
what the hell, man? Where the fuck
Mhm.
was it? And I haven't backed their campaign since.
Right. Yeah, I've had several board games where and where I've put an unhealthy amount of money, let's put it that way, on them, and they've never delivered. Same thing with comics. I'm missing quite a few comic books from people you'd know, and they're never getting them done. I think it's like 6 or 7 years late on some of these. So I've asked for refunds, written it off, and that's the other thing. You have to be approachable and honest as a creator. How do I want to say it? Mistakes can happen, right? And people are generally accepting of them, but when you ignore your audience, especially if you're having something late, that looks bad not only on you but on crowdfunding as a whole, and it ends up hurting everybody around.
So let
Unless
me ask this. Let me ask this because I have a different eBay position. So I have 40 days to ship out your item, right? So if you bought something and it says pre-sale and you
Mhm.
reach out a day after you bought it, say, where is it? Why isn't it shipped? I'm most likely not going to answer you immediately because you legitimately bought it 6 hours ago, right?
Okay.
But like, usually I get back to somebody pretty quickly for the most part. But I mean, it says it crystal clear, hey, this is a pre-order, usually ships out within 3 weeks, right?
Okay.
So I'm not going to be answering in my business in particular, questions that are easily findable, right? So if somebody says the backs your Kickstarter, right? But I also think that if all of a sudden you said, oh man, we were with Comics Wellspring and they just refunded my money. I got to go figure out a new printer. And you
Mhm.
got to let people know, hey, look, I'm trying to find a new printer here and they're backlogged by 6 weeks. And I know
Exactly.
I said this was going to happen, but we found one. Here's who we're working with. I'm sorry, this is out of my control. That's a different circumstance. But I also like, and this is just how I do, and this is why I asked the question: is that what is late right? Is
Mhm.
and I don't know anymore, right? Because I usually get stuff out. If I order something from Tops, I pre-sell it and it's out in 3 weeks, and I have 40 days to ship it. I'm not late by any stretch of the imagination. I am be within my 40 days to ship it, right? So I
Okay.
don't think I'm late on that. I think if it's 80 days, I'm late.
Well, I think pre-sales are different because just like if you were to buy, uh, what's a new what Wolverine Marvel the game Wolverine that's coming out.
That's
If I were to buy it now, I wouldn't expect I wouldn't call Amazon or whoever I pre-ordered it through and say, "Hey, why didn't you ship my game?" No, I
It happens
bought it.
every week. It happens every week in my eBay business. Every week it happens.
Really, because I bought that knowing it's not coming out until.
It happens every week in my business.
That is crazy.
And granted, some of these people are probably like 9-year-old kids, and they ask their mom to buy them an $8 card, and then they just want their stuff. And once you explain to them, they're like, "Oh man, cool, man," and then they get it in 2 weeks, like, "Oh man, I'm super stoked. Leave me positive feedback." Happens every week, though,
Hmm.
every week, and it kills me because it's like, guys, I'm like begging. I don't want to answer these questions, but like, I'm not late, right? But then there's also
Yeah.
stuff that happens where the card has to be built.
And what does that mean?
So for instance, if you have a base relic in a card, the card has to be built. So
Okay.
so the card doesn't exist. You have a redemption for the card, but the card has to be built, and the card isn't built yet, but it's
Oh.
sold. It's crazy. So those sometimes take a lot longer, but the people who buy that are really understanding, and I give them, all the information I have. But that's my point is that,
Yeah.
but this is why I asked the question because I don't know anymore what is late. And it's such an issue, right? Because is late that your due date is that I'm supposed to have it in my hands by May and it's not in my hands by May, or is it that I'm supposed to be, or is it that you have a grace period of June, or is it that it's now late in August, or do I
Mhm.
have to wait till September till it's late because you have a 90-day grace period? And this is why I stopped backing a lot of campaigns on Kickstarter,
Yeah.
to be 100% honest, because this late period, I don't know
Mhm.
because there is no rules here.
There's not. There really isn't. In fact, I often pad my um ship date by a couple of months just to be on the safe side. So in other words, if I expect that I will have the product in hand by say June, I will say then I'm going to be shipping this in September. So then when I ship it in July, yeah, I'm early. And that's how I've done it this whole time. I've always shipped early because, well, I plan ahead. Some people don't plan ahead. Some people don't have the capability of it. They don't understand. I mean, it's not fair, I guess, because I've been doing this for about 15 years, and I just know I've played this game a long time, and I'm used to how manufacturing works. I'm used to how long it takes to ship things to me, and then things do happen. Like, oh my god, I forgot to order boxes, or I didn't order enough boxes. So now it's going to take another couple of days until I get boxes in. People are generally understanding about stuff like that. It's just you can't be dismissive. You can't be entitled. You can't say, "Well, no, you gave me the money. Stop asking questions." And
Do,
I've
do,
I've seen people like that.
so let me ask this because it did. So I am financially responsible and financially irresponsible at the exact same time. Um, for good reasons, right? I mean, so sometimes you're in a position where you have to spend more money than you have because things come across your desk, and that
Mhm.
you're gonna end up with more money over the next 6 months, but you're gonna have to eat some crow temporarily
Right.
because of opportunity that comes across, right?
Mhm.
And sometimes, not to quote the great philosopher Eminem, but sometimes there's once in a lifetime, right? Moments. The Knicks winning, the championship in 53 years was really a once in a lifetime opportunity, and there was expensive cards and stuff going on. and that was expensive at the time, and I'm gonna make money in the next 6 months on that stuff, but I can do better overall. But it was an incurred expense that wasn't there before because it wasn't expected. If that makes
Hmm.
any sense, right? And then other things happen, right? But the point I'm trying to make is that I also think that a lot of people who build things like this are not good at money, and it's like you get, you know, let's say you pull in 15K,
Yep.
that's not 15K of profit.
No.
That's 15K of expenditure, and you still might be in the hole for another
Hmm.
10. So, I mean, but people want to spend the money, or they're utilizing the money, or they're trying to stretch a dollar.
Hmm.
And I think that that's part of the problem here is, and that's why books get delayed. It's because people have that money coming in. It's treated as straight income in a lot of ways. Your taxes get
Yeah.
all jacked up, and
Yeah. They
all of a
don't
sudden,
see that.
this is my background in a lot of ways. I'm not a CPA, and I don't want to be. That sounds like a miserable job.
Hmm.
April does not seem like a fun month if you're a CPA. I'm just saying, I get my account of my shit in February, for a good reason, and she loves me for it, but not the point. But this is where I'm going with this, right? Is that I think there's financial irresponsibility that causes a lot of these problems too.
Hmm. Sure. And I've not only seen that, and some of it is just you're new and you didn't understand and you didn't plan correctly, right? So then they panic and because they don't know how to handle it. But there are also some that I've seen who are blatantly disrespectful, who are clearly um, not delivering out of spite. Uh, I don't want to say who, but 'cause I don't want to get you in trouble with anybody. So,
Oh, you could say it. I don't care. I don't care. I mean, you can say whatever you want on this show. I don't care. If you want to mention names, be my guest. I mean, I got names who I think aren't delivering or are behind or who don't do their job, and I don't even know if it's out of spite. But I mean, I don't have. I mean, I have no problem dropping names on this. I mean,
yeah,
that's not. I mean, because it's a fact, right? Now I
yeah,
can't spite. I could say it's incompetency, but
sure,
I don't have a problem dropping names on people who are slow, inefficient at this, and have
yeah,
clearly done something wrong
yeah,
with their business.
yeah. This
Um,
this person has said on streams plenty of times that now they're not going to do any more of the book, just because they said you thought it took long with 5 years. Well, now it's going to take longer. That kind of a thing. Yeah.
I mean, look, I'll be honest, and I have no problem about me. Is that if somebody gets nasty with me on eBay, right?
Hmm.
I say, okay, cool. I'm gonna take 3 extra days to ship your item out now. Because you know what I'm gonna say. Look, you know what I'm just gonna do. I have 40 items I can ship out today. I'll get you in on Tuesday.
Hmm.
You were on the docket for Sunday. Now you could be home on Tuesday. That's just how I do it because let's let you cool down for a little bit. It's one thing to ask me, hey, where's my item? What's going on with it? That's fine. But the second you start getting nasty with me, I just say, okay, you know what it is? I'm less likely to work with you. Because, and this is what I've learned from professional gamblers, right? If you're using picks and the person you're picking got it wrong, it doesn't help to yell at them. Much like if a pitcher goes out to the mound and gives up 9 home runs in the first inning, your manager yelling at the pitcher just gave up 9 home runs isn't going to help that pitcher. It's not going to help your team either because you're probably going to lose that game, and you want to at
Hmm.
least get 5 innings out of that pitcher. And if you say, "What the fuck did you do? You just gave up 9 runs and you smack him across the face." It's not helping your team, right? So yelling at people in those circumstances doesn't help.
Yeah.
But I digress. But I want to get back to the board game stuff.
Sure.
So obviously, I know way less about board games than I do about
Hmm.
a lot of other stuff. I mean, I play them. I enjoy playing them. I mean, I play a lot of Catan. I play a lot of Shadows over Camelot. I play that island game. Deserted Island. I think it might be called. I'm not exactly
Hmm.
sure off the top of my head. A lot of fun, right? So you find out who your real friends are during that game.
Mm.
Um, you find out what type of players you're playing with during that game too. But there's a lot of fun things you learn about people during that game. Um, but but I'm curious how you feel about the current state of board games and RPGs and
Mhm.
tabletop gaming because again, I know the basics, right?
Mhm.
Um, and I pick up a game here and there, but I'm not like immersed into it, right? And I'm curious how you feel because there's a lot of stuff I think going on with it. I see ads for stuff. I see a lot of other stuff going on, and I see a lot of big players, and I see a lot of small players, and I see
Mhm.
a variety of things going on, for lack of a better word.
There's, I mean, we'll get company specific in a minute, but there's a lot of things that I see going on that I like. Some things I don't like. One of the things that I really like is that we're getting away from everything has to have tons and tons of miniatures in it because then that was just ballooning the price of everything and it just wasn't necessary for most games that had them. It was just to have them because people like to collect and collect and paint minis, so that made your campaign sell easier when you had miniatures. In fact, one of the big companies that built their entire business model on that was they say it's come on, but it's CMON, Cool Mini or Not. And if I'm right, if I remember correctly, they are going out of business because they can't sustain this model anymore. They've sold off a couple of different properties that I saw. Um, but overall, and again, same thing with RPGs. RPGs are going in a really weird way to where not all of them, but you see a lot more where they're built around almost no dice rolls. It's a subjective. I want to do something, then the GM just says, "Yeah, okay, you can do that. You succeed." It's like then if you're just doing that, then just tell a story, dude. It's all good. The fun of an RPG thing is the randomness of the dice roll. But people are afraid to get feelings hurt or have their character die or something and are it's the theater kid mentality to where everybody has to be the center of attention and they don't want to be seen as losing for some reason. I don't get it, but
Let me ask this,
mhm,
because I mean, again, I don't know the sector, right? But
okay.
that I mean, it seems to me that you could have a game where you don't need dice roll, and you could have logical persuasion as the dice roll in a lot of ways if you have the right GM, right? Or even if you have, I don't even know how you would build it, but so you have logical situations. I mean, I got embedded to a game that wasn't based on that, but it was based on making decisions and events happen. So essentially, you have a randomized event component, and then everything works off of that.
Mhm.
So, for instance, a fire breaks out in a building, and that's the RPG. So,
Yeah.
do you go up the stairs? You go down the stairs? You go to the third floor. There's a woman with her child there. Do you go help them, or do you keep going up? What do you do here? Or the fire is now approaching hotter, and what do you do here? Right. So that's all subjective, logical reasoning. You don't need a dice roll per se for that, but that's so interesting though that like it's going that direction. I mean, because I think you said it well, and but like I always thought the point is that you want dice rolls, you want a GM to intervene, and if you don't want your character to die, the GM should interfere to not prevent your character from dying. Like you can't like be on the first dice roll and then you get a level 50 dragon killing you.
Oh, well, that's a different thing. Yeah, no, you gotta that's just responsible storytelling, as we call it. But yeah, no, just like with your fire, uh, I like the idea though, doing a fire rescue. I like that one. I might steal that. But the thing is, when you get it to where you don't have to roll dice, you fall into the trap of the GM's my best friend now, and everything I do is going to succeed. So now you're just okay. So you ran up this fire escape. Yay, you win, right? Whereas with the dice, it's I run up the fire escape. How's my agility or how's my strength to pull myself up? And then if you fail, then something happens. It's okay to fail. And that's what people don't have anymore. They don't have the understanding that it's okay to fail. You just got to, pick yourself back up and do something with it. So
I don't know in which that I mean, I I don't know. I don't take RPG players to be soft. I mean,
you have no idea.
I don't buy it. I'm sorry.
No.
Maybe it's because I'm a tough kid, and
Yeah.
and I've taken a lot of shots in the last probably 14 months of my life, a little too many to be honest. My bump card is pretty filled up. But I digress here. But
Yeah.
like I just don't see RPG players being soft. I guess.
Oh, look up the Matt Mercer effect, man. Everybody wants it to be a big production, full on voice acting to where you are just alongside telling a story. That's all they want. They don't want the struggle anymore.
Is it that they don't want the RPG? They want to be.
They want to be main character. It's main character syndrome.
That's what it is, or is it the fact that they want to be in Critical Role?
Oh well, that's a whole different thing. That's a whole different thing. Yeah.
I mean, because the reason why I bring this up is that I mean, look, I don't know. I say this right. Tom Shalhoub said it best. I don't want your life, right? I want my life to be better. Okay. In reality, if we get to the core of it, very few people want to trade their life for somebody else's. Now, most people want their life to be better, right? So I don't want to name me a celebrity, right?
Let's see. I'm just gonna pick random Ryan Reynolds right now because it's the only thing that popped into my head.
I'm sure Ryan Reynolds' life is awesome, right? Pretty sure of it. Awesome actor, but I don't know his struggles. I don't know his problems. I don't want to be Ryan Reynolds. And I want my life to be better, right? For the most part, right? Would it be nice to be able to be in Deadpool? Sure. Would it be nice to be so gifted that you could do Deadpool and do a great job with that and do all that cool stuff? Sure, right? But I don't want Ryan Reynolds' life. I want Andrew Davis's life better, right? And with an RPG, I don't know if these people want to be doing an RPG or they want to be, almost mimicking a RPG like Critical Role and be the main character and have that high-end production. And they've been sold a bill of goods that really isn't what that they bought, right? Because they've been Hollywoodized or Californicationized on it, right? I don't know. Does that make sense? Like, and that's where I go with this and that's just what I think, right? But I don't know if that's the case, right? Because I'm not in this space, but that's what it looks like, and that's what it sounds like.
Yeah, I try my best to be fair and to make the game fun, but at the same time, I didn't kill your character. Your choices did. I put the stuff out there. If you decided to go through with it anyway, and things happen, well, things happen. It's just a game, dude. Just a game.
Do you also feel though that in Slaughterville is not a active long RPG, right?
Right.
It's a one-off, right? So like you're not going on a 50-week campaign.
You could.
I mean, I guess, right? But you get where I'm going with this, right?
Yeah.
Like if you're going on a 7-year campaign with your characters where every other week you're playing with a bunch of your friends for like 4 hours in a D&D Zoom call, right? I can understand after a while you don't want your elf mage that you've known for the last 4 years that you've created to die.
Right.
That I understand, right?
Make smart choices then.
I don't know. Fair enough, but my point is that. But
Yeah.
I find it so interesting, right?
Leroy
Because
Jenkins.
I I never understood just how soft people are.
Yeah. Well, that's how when I first designed the Slaughterville board game, I had permanent death. As in, not, I mean, I wouldn't come to your house and kill you. I mean, if your character died, then you were out of the game. And after playing it and going through, by this Slaughterville 2 one, I realized, no, I don't really care for that because I want to keep everybody involved until there's a natural win-loss condition on the villain. So I just made it that if you die, as the character dies, you just get a new character. Keep going. So if you decided to take the hot chick into the asylum and she happened to find, you know, something untowards down in the basement and died, okay, that's where her body is. You get a new character now.
I mean, it makes sense. It makes sense.
It's just a different way of thinking, and everybody plays games differently, and that's cool. But my way is the way I design, the way I do things is actions have consequences.
So I don't really have anything else to challenge on that. I mean, because there's nothing to challenge on that. But I do want to get into the other side of this, which
Sure.
is obviously production, because
Yes.
actually printing this stuff is complicated too.
Mhm.
You know, I don't know how many you need to print. I don't know what printing looks like in China versus the United States. I don't know what tariffs look like. I don't know any of that, right? Because it's not my cup of tea. It's not my
Mhm.
area of expertise. Obviously, I know that, you know, there's been a lot that's happened probably in the
Yes.
last 2 years
Mhm.
on this. And so what is that? Because I think that's also I mean, it's not the buyer's responsibility to know how it's printed exactly,
Right.
but they should to some degree have an idea if you're an
Oh, yeah.
educated buyer. I'm not saying you have to be an expert, but you should have an education to it and how it's slightly done and where it's being printed. But you could answer that however you want.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. I used to print in China, and I say used to because it has gotten so cost prohibitive these days. They used to have smaller, what they call an MOQ, which I'm sure you know what an MOQ is?
I do not.
Minimum order quantity.
Gotcha.
I used to be able to order, excuse me, I hit puberty apparently. I used to be able to order 500 minimum. Now they're talking 1,500 to 2,000 units minimum. And it's just priced the that's just the crowdfunding creator almost out of it, because I would need 30 some thousand just to get the game printed and shipped overseas. Now that's not, then you'd have to add another what, 20%, 25% I think it was for tariffs, and then you have overland shipping of another 3 or 4,000. Customs fees, that's something a lot of people forget, is customs fees. But it's now more feasible to get it printed in the United States. Now I'm looking for actual board game manufacturers. Right now I'm going through a couple that do smaller print runs. So I'm able to get this one down pretty cheap as far as a funding goal goes. But yeah, it's definitely a more volatile market as far as shipping and printing overseas. But, you know, especially if you do what they call friendly shipping, customs friendly shipping, where you take a container and you divert it to the UK and you divert one to Australia, and then you bring the rest to the United States. Because that way you can ship within the countries and you ignore VAT fees and taxes and all that. At least to the customer, because you still have to pay it just for bringing it into the country. And that's something a lot of customers, you know, don't really understand. And that's fine. It's not their job to understand it. It's my job as the creator to do that all on the back end to where you don't know it exists. But yeah, so I've decided to print in the US on this one. just because that I think that they've more than tripled in cost to print in China these days.
So let me ask this because I don't. I mean, obviously, I don't know comic printing exactly. And I
Yes.
don't know the full extent of that, but I would imagine it's somewhat similar with changes that have occurred.
Yes.
Um, things are just more expensive regardless of how you look at it, right? And shipping is more expensive also how you look at it, right?
Mm-hmm.
For
Every
those who
year.
don't know, eBay for a single card just went up from 74 cents to 78 cents.
Yeah.
And we're talking about like an ounce of a card. So, you know, but then also but shipping hasn't gone that much up. If you're shipping something with priority mail, that's 70 pounds or less.
Yeah.
That's relatively stayed the same. Um, but that's neither here nor there. Where I'm going with this and why this is relevant, and I guess, um, that is, what is that like though? Because if you're printing in the United States and you're able to print,
Mm-hmm.
400, and you only have 250 orders, and you need to print 1,500. I mean, that's also a game changer to a degree
Yeah.
because you could print almost on demand per se. And I
Yeah.
think
Pretty much.
that's something that also is because it's hard because you can't compete against DC or whoever has the license
No.
because they're going to print in China
Mm-hmm.
because it makes sense because they can get all of that stuff really down packed. Because if you're printing
Well,
200,000 units, you're going to be able to get a pretty cheap cost.
I was going to say, yeah, they have if you have the funds and you have the infrastructure in place to print over there, it's gonna be more profitable for you in the long run. But I don't have an extra 50 grand sitting around where I can, if I did, sure, I'd print it, have it shipped right here, and then you can just buy it without crowdfunding. I'd be fine with that. But then people also don't think of the logistics of warehousing. They say, "Oh, $7 is a lot for shipping," but then they don't realize, well, I got to buy boxes, bubble wrap, tape, and stickers, labels. Thank God they do pickup from the UPS and the post office. So I just leave it on the porch and they pick it up. But yeah, it's yeah, a lot's changed. It takes so many little things, and like you said with the books, having the ability to print those 100,000, 30,000, 20,000 copies you're right. You're going to get them down to like 15 cents, 20 cents, a dollar a copy. But the average creator can't do that. So they have to plan ahead for that. They can't plan ahead as if they are doing Marvel prices. They have, and that's why, and again, and that's why I understand when indie books cost 10, $12 a book because they can't get Marvel prices. So I'm more forgiving for things like that. I probably went on like 7 different tangents here, but I could talk all day.
No. I am fine with an indie book costing $10.
Exactly.
I'm fine with it. And I'm not fine with it costing 20. If it's
No.
It depends what it is, right? It depends what it is, right?
Yeah.
So you got 24, 28 pages, 32 pages, 10, 12 bucks. I get
Yeah.
it. I get it. I'm not happy about it. But I get it, right?
Yeah.
There's a difference between getting something and understanding it and not getting something, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not okay when it's a cover A and it's $25. That is excessive, right?
Yeah.
So I try to be reasonable in my pricing when I buy something.
Yes.
For those who, I mean, and sometimes what happens is that the free market determines a price, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I've had people said, "Dude, you were reasonable on something, and I thought I was high."
Yeah.
On a particular card, my Sophie Cunningham autos, I thought I was pretty reasonable about it. I would have taken a lot less, but they didn't need to know that. It's a limited 10 auto Sophie Cunningham, her first Panini Instant auto. And I had about 4 other sellers say, "Dude, how the fuck did you get that? How did you get that?" And I got through them like, "Dude, how the fuck did you get 3 of them?" Like legit 4 sellers didn't even want to buy it. They're just like, "You win, man."
Mm-hmm.
when other bigger sellers are giving you props who sell like 100,000 items a year are saying, dude, how'd you do that? And I'm like, I was just there, guys. Like,
Mhm.
I was just happy to get one. I don't think you people understand. Like, and it's a very funny moment. But all the, I mean, if I was to walk through the eBay expenditures and all that stuff, it would blow your mind, right?
Oh
Um,
yeah.
it's so expensive in ways that you don't understand, right? My accounting fee alone is a pain in the ass. Um, so but I find this interesting. But again, I mean, I'll ask this because I'm curious. Do you think that crowdfunding is helpful on this stuff? And the reason why I ask it, and maybe that's the wrong way to ask it, but because I don't know if crowdfunding it gets you your market. I don't know
Mhm.
if it's just a simple distribution order form for you, because this is my issue now with crowdfunding is that I don't know if Kickstarter really markets your product or
Oh
if it's a
no.
simple order form and a simple
Yeah.
funnel, for lack of a better word. And essentially, what it is that it's a payment processor and an order form sales webpage.
Yeah. That's
Um,
all. That's all they are.
but I'm sick and tired, I guess, of people saying, and I'll state the quiet part aloud. Oh, I'm on Kickstarter for the marketing.
Hmm.
That doesn't because and that's where I'm at with Kickstarter is that if you could go and build your own marketing sales position, would you leave Kickstarter to do it, or are you there because it's already built for you and you don't want to? You'll happily give them 12% because it's already there, and it has access to what is a familiar interface.
For me personally, if my goal is to never need Kickstarter again. So if I had a big enough audience with a reach that I could um, message or reach out to them without using that platform, I absolutely would do it. If I had it where I had, like I was saying earlier, where I had the games in stock or the books or the RPGs, whatever it is, if I had them in stock and I could just sell them off the website while we're doing stuff like this, I would. That's easily something I would do because yeah, Kickstarter taking 10% isn't fun, and that's again something not many people plan for. Um,
That's so interesting because I'm the exact opposite.
really?
eBay takes 13%, right? I'm trying to work on getting eBay down to 8%. I would like to make it if I was to be on eBay's board and buy enough shares, that's the first thing that I advocate on their board to get it down to 8%. 8% covers 3% credit card processing and gives them 5%. And I think it will get rid of a lot of, I think it would make a lot of people happier, right? um and I think it would solve a lot more problems. I think it would
Hmm.
expand eBay, and I think the way you eBay would make money is you make money on the stock share price side of it. But the reason why I like eBay is that I like the protections on eBay because I have real protections on eBay, and so right now I'm paying 13%, but I have access to huge amount of international shipping, so I can ship all over the world minus a few places. I right now can't ship into Iran, but I don't think
Yeah,
somebody's going to buy a girl in a bikini card in Iran so quickly. I just don't see it, right? But supposedly in certain countries, they love buying that stuff.
yeah.
And it's not the countries you think. But it's terrible. But the point I'm making is that I get that side, and then I also get credit card protections. I get seller protections. I get shipping protections. I get access to buying shipping labels off of eBay. So I am happy to give them 13% because I get a whole tool. I get a whole suite of tools that I can utilize. So when I'm giving them, and that's the 10% because it's a 3% credit card processing fee that you're gonna have to eat one way or the other, right? So that's why I don't have a problem paying eBay the percentage, but on Kickstarter,
Right.
I don't think you get those tools.
I was just about to say yes. That's more understandable. And that's what I liked about eBay too when I use it is that I get not only the shipping discounts, but if something goes wrong, it's handled on their end. They take out the taxes, they take out the VATs and handle all of that for me. I don't have to worry about it. And whereas Kickstarter is literally just the platform, you build it, you market it, you do everything. Now, sometimes they'll put up, if you have the right product, they'll put on a project we love or something like that. Now, I will say this, Kickstarter just started a program. Now, I applied for it, but I know I'm not going to get it, where they will use Kickstarter money to donate to certain projects. I'll let you get a guess as to what kind of projects they were saying they will donate to, but yes, it's those.
Oh, so is it the LGBTQ?
Yeah.
Is it potentially also maybe Halloween projects?
No,
You want to do that in October a little bit?
No, it was art projects from that community. And I still applied for it because what the heck, you know?
See, it's interesting, right? Because I mean, they're inviting a lawsuit in, essentially. And here's the lawsuit, right? The lawsuit is that they are picking, and they might be a private company, but the real question is that it goes into semi-public, semi-quasi circumstances, and the internet is a very complicated space. And it could get very interesting with the right person if they have a disability comic and they get not the representation, and Kickstarter now has anti-disability. And all it's going to take is me to go through their website as the expert and say, your website's not in compliance that services all these people. And I can find that there's probably some public funding that was on Kickstarter at some point, and I got the loop. And there we go. We got ourselves a little Section 508 ADA compliance lawsuit. And those are expensive. Those are expensive.
Yeah.
I know exactly the number, how expensive they are. And they're not expensive for the reason you think, everybody. They're expensive because you have to fix the problem. And everybody wants to fix the problem. If you know you're in a lawsuit, you got to fix it. The price goes up high. Goes high. It's very expensive to fix problems when you're being sued. Oh man. But you know what? I let him have it, right? Let him have it.
Yep.
Let him have it.
I said I still applied. I mean, why not, right?
Oh, it's whatever. I can't wait to create the Sophie Cunningham comic book. Oh my god, that's gonna be a blast. Her and Kelsey Plum. Oh my god. I just need one. I just need one. As my wife. But anyway, except you know, definitely. I would love to see Sophie Cunningham doing the Victoria's Secret fashion show. That'd be great. Her Sports Illustrated swimsuit edition was awesome. Her and Nefesia Collier in that issue were great. I know who did not enjoy that issue was Ben Shapiro. He's the one who asked to get a different magazine instead when that issue came out. And I love Ben Shapiro though. He's great. But I digress here. But anyhow, it is what it is. But I do want to talk about Kickstarter with you because again, I'm significantly backed out of Kickstarter for a lot of reasons. I don't think the projects on Kickstarter are great. I think there's one in a blue moon that's awesome, right? I just got my Ultraman set, and I love that set, right? So Richard Card Parks Ultraman set Series 5, big kaiju fan, love cards, really cool set, worth the $85 that I paid for 360 cards. That's awesome. You know, and some other stuff was in there too, which is cool. I bought a Book Nook off of Kickstarter, really cool project. But it's rare with comics because half the time they come damaged. Half the time the people aren't receptive, and you know, I think they're overpriced. I think a lot of this is overpriced. I also think it's been sold as investments, and it's not.
No.
None of this. Very few of these books are going to be worth
Hmm.
the paper they're printed on. And I can tell you that as somebody who invests, who buys, and has been screwed on comics. But yes, please.
I can think of one that's gone on out of crowdfunding to actually do something. Um, God, you're gonna kick me on the name. Is it Tyler Kirk? Final Boss is a comic book that was picked up by Image Comics.
Tyler
Um,
Kirkman.
is that what it is?
Tyler Kirkman did. I think did Final Boss. Yeah.
When I read issue one of that one I knew it had a neat premise, and I wanted to get more. And I never saw any more come out. And then all of a sudden, next thing I know, I saw it on, out through Image. That is the only one I can think of that actually went on to something bigger.
Mike Shea has done stuff that like Lady Mechanica that does well because then it gets picked up by Image on the back end.
Hmm.
So
I didn't see that one.
So stuff like that does well. Where he says to go for like $500. I mean, Pat Chan, Destiny in New York, is always funded on Kickstarter first, and then it gets picked up by Black Mask. And so like he'll do it, and then it'll get picked up, and then it'll get re-released later on in single issues
Sure.
from the graphic novel on Black Mask.
Now let me
And Destiny New York's also getting a television show.
Nice.
So
Good for them. Good for them.
Oh, I love Destiny New York. It's a good one. It's the concept is that, and I like the premise is that Logan, the main character, she fills her destiny when she's 12. This is the rest of her life. And so now she's dealing with that she fulfilled her destiny for the world. But she was like 13 when she did it, and now the world's saved, and now she's dealing with her girlfriend. Her girlfriend is kind of taking over the mob family. They had a breakup. She's in another relationship. Then that relationship failed. Now she's back with her girlfriend. And like, you're dealing with your life, right?
Mm-hmm.
You did what you were supposed to do. So if you died, you're the hero.
Yep.
But you got another 50 years of your life left. What do you do now? Like,
yeah,
I've obviously oversimplified the book.
I understand.
But you're dealing with this, and it's apply. I mean, it's a really cool concept because I don't know the genre, but it's dealing with humanity, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I like about the book.
Yeah. So let me ask you this: you've seen omnibus, you've seen trade paperbacks, and so on. What do you think of bigger companies taking trade paperbacks to Kickstarter? Like they have Darkwing Duck, or is it one of those? But like IDW has a few out there. They did the Transformers ones, the big GI Joe omnibuses. What do you think about stuff like that?
They did it with Power Rangers,
Mm-hmm.
and I think it's interesting, right? So I mean, I have a Cherry book like that by Larry Welch, who did Cherry. And so Cherry, it's kind of like it's Archie just adult. It's a good way to put it.
Okay.
Cherry Tart. And Larry Welch is one of like the last bastions of great American cartoonists still alive. You had Howard Cruz in there. You had a bunch of people. The point is that I think it's smart. I also think it's an easy way for them to help fund an expensive project.
Mm-hmm.
Use their money and other people's money in an interesting way. But I also think it's good for the fan, right? Because I mean, obviously people want this. I mean, I can't afford it, right? At the moment. But if I could, I would, right? But my priorities right now is that I have a but I have a business that requires a lot of capital, and
Mm-hmm.
I move a lot of capital in and out. And right now, just full disclosure of the reason why I didn't buy, why I'm not backing those books, it's because right now we're in the downward cycle
Yeah.
of something, and then we're going to enter the upward cycle. And when we enter the upper cycle, I'm going to be making ideally some serious exits.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, I'm going to be making some serious exits on stuff. But the point I'm trying to make is that but I think it's smart. They're also a collector's item to a degree. So I think it allows people to get stuff, and especially when you go back like I don't know how far the GI Joe stuff went back, but if you went back 40 years of GI Joe, I mean it's the cheapest way how to get that stuff.
See, I'm of two minds on it. Okay. None of them are on the positive, by the way. One, it doesn't give me a positive view of your company. If you're a big company and you have these licenses and you have to go to crowdfunding for it, that tells me you didn't have enough capital in order to do this. And if people want it, then so that when you're a big company, that makes me nervous, because there were like I was saying with that CMON company, they would generally make 1, 2, 3 million on a board game. Okay. But yet they're always coming back to Kickstarter. So how good are they with their money, especially now that they're out? Right?
So
And then, hold on, one more.
Okay.
One more, thank you. It's these larger companies that do this, that are making all of this money, that have all of these things. I think they take away from the smaller creators. Okay, go ahead. I'll shut up.
So I don't really have a problem when you're doing an omnibus on that level. And I don't think that so I don't necessarily I kind of disagree where I think if you're doing a big GI Joe, like 4 big hardcover volumes, and this is 40, 50, 60 years of GI Joe,
Mm-hmm.
I think it because obviously I don't think it's a bad issue of money. I just think that they say, look, let's get a bunch of pre-orders in, and let's not have to go through retail to do it, right? Let's go to direct to consumer, right? So and they're using the platform, and I think the product's good, right? That's why I say this, right? If the product was dog shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when you do it with GI Joe, you do it with Power Rangers. When you do it with, I can't think of the GI Joe is the best example, right?
Right,
Like
right.
that makes complete sense to me. Power Rangers, if you're doing 30 years of Power Rangers in 4 big hardcover, beautiful omnibus books, brilliant, right? If you're doing it with Avatar: Last Airbender in doing a hardcover graphic novel, right? As a
Mm-hmm.
first round, totally makes sense to me if Dark Horse did that, right? Because you're creating a good product that you could do without it, but I don't have a problem with those. It's when you're doing some other stuff. So I'll give you an example. They did like the Scrooge McDuck that they're doing right now, that Dynamite's doing, I think.
Yeah.
That to me seems a cash grab more
Mm-hmm.
so than the GI Joe does, right? But we also have now the issue where I mean, I don't know him, but it's Kevin Rotary or Rotary. He's doing Postal. The book Postal he did.
I did
The
see that.
cats. And again, we're reviving it or we're doing something else like that and bringing stuff back, and we're spending a lot of money on ads. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
that's also a complicated issue because how much of this is truly organic and how much of this is being forced down people's throats to buy it. So somebody says, I've seen this ad enough, I'll buy it so I don't have to see this fucking ad again. And you think that's a joke. There's a game called Atlas Earth, right?
Okay.
So Atlas Earth, you have to watch ads to get Atlas bucks in it. And if you install the app for the ad, those ads for that one, if you hate the fucking ad, it's difficult to do, you install the app and it will actually systematically eliminate that ad for like 2 weeks. And it will replace it with another ad. And so what people have done, what we've all figured out in that game, is there's easier ads that are like 20 seconds, it's easy to exit out of. So we all install the ads that they're trying to sell us that are difficult to exit out of.
So let me ask you though, why not just leave the game? If they're this frustrating, why not quit?
Because it's a pay to earn game.
A what?
A pay to earn game.
I
So you play it and you earn real money in the game.
Oh.
So I'm earning anywhere from $22 to $25 a month. And it's growing every single month. And so that's why you don't leave the game, right? Because when you're going from $20 to 21 to 22 to 23, and then you go up to 45, 50, 60, 70, $100 a month, it adds up really quickly. And then you take that money, you buy some dividend stocks, and then it does it again the next month, and you keep growing upward on a J curve. And yeah, that's why. That's why. But that's a different conversation for everybody who wants to learn how I think. But it's I mean, I'm profitable in the game. That's why. But those ads make you want to like kill a baby. Yeah, because some of them are impossible to exit out of. But not getting back to the point though is that I think there's stuff that is a cash grab. But I also think that G.I. Joe stuff, I mean, if we're talking about like 40 years of G.I. Joe, you're not getting that like year 5 of G.I. Joe. You can't
from Marvel's kind of a thing, yeah.
So I don't have a problem when it's a product that I can't get any other way, and we brought out some from an archive because and obviously people want it, but I don't think it's an issue where the company can't afford it. My other big concern, because that was Skybound. The issue I have with Skybound is actually a much deeper issue. They are raising money and trying to sell shares of their company. That's a bigger concern than being on Kickstarter.
Why is that?
Because you're trying to sell shares in your company, which means that the company needs to raise capital, and you can't go to a traditional bank to raise capital because they don't like your business model. You can't go to Wall Street. You can't go to private equity. You're going to Start Engine or Crowd Engine or whatever's in Tokyo Pop did the same thing. And that's really unsecured shares.
Oh.
So that's unsecured equity by definition. And it's very concerning when they're doing that, right? Because that means one of two things. It means that people who have money in Skybound, which are potential creators, employees, want exits out of the company. And so they're willing to sell some equity, or they need a lot of money. And they've been trying to raise 200 million because they can't operate without infusion of cash that they can't get, and they get it by this. And the theory is that they're claiming it's like the new Disney. Well, if you were the fucking new Disney, you would be able to go to traditional Wall Street all day. And you're not able to go to Wall Street because they don't want to touch your business because, you got Invincible, you got The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
But why do you need to raise capital if you have Invincible on Amazon?
That's what I was literally just going to ask. Like, what is the point then? Because they have the comics division.
They got.
I'm sure comics cost money to make, but they sell, and they have the toys, the games. Look, I just bought I have the Invincible RPG, for crying out loud, that just came out. They licensed Invincible to Overpower card games, so that's coming out. Invincible, Walking Dead. They just got Transformers and G.I. Joe over at Skybound, which is it's good. If you haven't read it, it's good.
No, but I don't know why they want to sell shares.
That's my concern. Yeah. What do you need?
That's the bigger concern than the Kickstarter. The Kickstarter is just a order distribution for them. That's all it is.
Yeah, Kickstarter says they're not a pre-order platform. That's a pile of stuff. You're totally pre-ordering.
We could have an ethical discussion about that. That's absolutely fine. With that, I don't have a problem with those omnibus with G.I. Joe, Power Ranger, with that Boom did. All that's fine with me. It's okay. It doesn't bother me. What bothers me is when you're selling shares in your company, because that's a sign that you're not financially stable. I mean, full disclosure, and we're speaking privately, but I've had people wanting to buy my YouTube channel, just outright. I mean, and it's a possibility. I mean, when real people want to buy your content, and the reason why they want to buy this stuff is that the interviews and the content is getting views, and people are wanting to buy content. So, but like, I mean, I don't know if those offers, how deep they are and how real they are and what they want to pay, but there is. I mean, I haven't gotten back to them. I don't really feel like selling my YouTube channel at the moment. And I don't want to explore it either at the moment because it's not my thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
I enjoy doing this and I want to grow it, but that's a real concern with Skybound and what they want to do because that's terrifying when a company says we want to sell shares in our company, but we have all these licenses that are making huge amounts of money,
Yeah.
but we want to sell shares. They're not doing it to be altruistic.
Right. Of course not. Wonder what you get for getting them because, like you said, they're unsecured. They don't have
So,
any redundancy or
Angel
backup for.
Angel Studio, Angel
Yeah. No.
Studio, they did it too, but they
Mm-hmm.
returned capital on those shares in dividend formats.
What's
So
Skybound offering?
I have no idea what they're offering on that, and I have no idea when you would get your return on capital or when you could even sell
Mm-hmm.
your shares in the private
Exactly.
equity market.
Yeah.
It to me, I have no desire to buy them. It's not an investment I want to make. I made plenty of crazy investments. I have debt investments where I bought debt, which
Hmm.
is its own thing, whole different conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Anytime anybody wants to have that conversation with me, we could go through like 4 hours of financial literacy anytime, and I'm happy to do it. Um, I'm definitely well versed in that topic. It's my favorite topic. That and implied probability. Oh my
Hmm.
god, that's like candy to me. Um, but yeah. So that's what concerns me in comics. But they're running massive ads, much like a lot of people are running massive ads on Facebook for all these Kickstarters. And I don't know how you feel about that, but that concerns me too.
Mm-hmm.
So
Um. Well. Yeah. The massive ads on Facebook for Kickstarters. It there's a lot of marketing companies, especially now, being pushed. See, that's the other thing. Facebook is pushing their Facebook part or not Facebook Kickstarter partners, where they pick and choose advertising companies and say these are the ones that we support, these are the ones that we recommend, and what they do is they blast out Facebook ads to different groups, and you'll find them all related. Now, I've known people that have used some of these, and they tell me flat out the company gets a decent percentage of whatever it is you make. So if you make 20,000, 50,000, 100,000, you're not getting that. You have to calculate that into your overall cost. But I've also heard that these companies will put money into a campaign like seed to start it so that it looks like it's growing fast and then just, use that as part of their fee. It's
I have looked at some of these companies, right?
mhm,
And I've looked at books that have used this. And some companies have disclosed it, some have not, and some it has been obvious and not obvious for some. And
mhm,
I look at this and I'm like, man, this book did 90,000 and it's not a $90,000 book.
right.
Blackpink, right? Or Pink Black, whatever it is, Blackpink, I think it was. Not a $90,000 book. I'm sorry.
Never heard of it.
That's why it did 90,000 on Kickstarter, like 75,000 or 65,000. Okay, book, not a 90 or 70 or $65,000 book, not even fucking close. Not by a mile. And that's the problem.
Mhm.
Is that when you have books like that are doing 65K, and everybody says, "Oh my god, I can do that too," and then they don't realize that, oh shit, the person spent 10K
Mhm.
or 5K on ads.
Yeah.
Like, no wonder why their book did that, right?
Yep.
No shit, Sherlock.
Mhm.
Doesn't take a genius to figure that out. And then you read it, and then you say, "Oh shit, this wasn't what this was," and
Yep.
then you have a fucking problem.
Yeah, well,
Yeah. So
that's less likely that people are to get the next one because all these people went out to buy your first one, and then you'll see a 50% drop off on the next book if you even get that. But yeah, I've looked at a few of those companies, and they said minimum $2,000 to $4,000 that they want you to spend with them to do advertising. I mean, maybe some people have that. This guy's not one of them. So,
I
yeah.
mean, we have to look. I mean, I'll ask this, right? And you don't have to answer it, and nobody does. What is your profit margin on your campaign, right? You don't have to give me an exact number, and I'll put it this way, right? I make anywhere from 25 to 40% on average per card sell
Mhm.
my eBay store, right? In that range, right? So that means after my taxes, after my cost of goods, after my shipping, I'm pulling in on average 25 to 40%, sometimes more, right? Depending on what it is. Those Sophie Cunninghams, I made bank on those, and it was not a 40% rate of return. It
Yeah.
was over 100% rate of return. And I thought I was reasonable, and a bunch of other people thought I was reasonable too for what it was. I bought the card for 80, I sold it for 280.
Hmm.
I was thrilled. A
Yeah.
3x on that in 8 hours, I'll take that
Mhm.
all day. I had no exposure, no risk, and I was happy to get a 3x on it. But my
Mm.
point that I'm getting at here, and why this is relevant, is that if you don't have if you're not making 50% margins on your stuff, you can't afford to run ads. There's
Right.
just no money there. There's just no money there.
There's
And
not.
is it? I mean, and this is what I think it comes down to. And again, you don't have to answer, and this is just what I think, right? And this is how I
Mhm.
approach things: is that my goal is to make money in
Mhm.
my business, right? I'm not saying, and I think you have to make money or at least break even on your campaign.
Yeah.
I mean, and so if you just want your book seen, you should go take out 20K and run as much ads as you want if you just want your book seen. If this is not about money and this is
Mhm.
about your book, then you should take out 20 to $30,000, do your 6 issues, pump out advertisements, and have a good time doing it.
I'll even go one further for that. If all you want is for it to be seen, put it into PDF, put it out there for free. You just want it seen, right? You're not here to make money. You just want it seen.
I
There you
asked
go.
this question to somebody. I'm not going to say who it was. They got
Yeah.
massively defensive, and I don't think they understood the question. I said, "Why is your book not free? If you want readers, you should make your book free."
Yep.
I'm not saying that this is going to be fun. I'm
Mm.
not saying this is a smart idea, but if you want readers, you should make your book for free and you should make it a PDF. And
Yeah.
then you should spend all the art you want on it. And then, but if you realize that, hey, I got to figure out how to make money on this, then yeah,
Mhm.
you got to figure out a whole different strategy.
I learned quickly that the Kindle free promotion um, does nothing except keep money out of your pocket. It's a nice way to say it, because people will flood to get it for free. But will they leave reviews, which is what you're hoping for, or will they read it, which is what you're hoping for? You do not see the return after that. Then they expect everything else for free. So if your only thing is just to get it seen, give it away for free. But if you're looking to make this a business, looking to live off of this, then you've got to charge for it. I'm not saying charge 30, 50, $60.
So I will challenge and I will add a caveat to that because I think the caveat is important, right? So I am in the process of building out a card class for free on YouTube,
Mm-hmm.
right? The goal is that I want to build my brand
Mm-hmm.
because I don't make my money by selling my card class. I'm going to make my money by selling you cards on eBay. So by me informing you and educating you, and then you see my eBay position, you then get to know, oh, this is the eBay store behind this card class. But I'm giving it away for free and I'm giving all this information, education away for free. I could go build this thing on Udemy, but I don't see the point because I think the real value is that the marketing is then. So now when somebody has a card question in a Facebook group, they're going to come to me and they say, oh man, this guy really helped me out with my card. What's in his eBay store? So I'm using it as a marketing tool,
Mm-hmm.
but it's also, because I mean, what am I going to do? Charge 10, $20 on Udemy for a pretty much, 4 hours of a card class that legitimately took me maybe 10 hours to build. And I'm knowledgeable on it, and all this information, it's all this information can be found. I'm just putting it
Mhm.
in a uniquer and easier format. But it's a branding tool to build my brand. That's when, because the real business behind it is A, consulting on this, and B, selling cards. So
Yeah, it's like
if you want to do a comic book and your goal is to consult on comic books, then absolutely that's getting the name out, because if that's how you're going to get your business, that makes complete sense. So if you have a book on the business of comics, right, you should make your book for free, and it's a 60-page book because you want to consult on it, or you're
Mhm.
a lawyer and you want to represent people in lawyer comic book issues. That's what you want to do, and you get their email. But that's the only time something makes it sense to give it out for free in a PDF.
Mhm.
But I agree. But again, or if you want to use it to break into Marvel,
Yeah.
and you want to build a portfolio, and you say, look, I'll just give it out. And I want 1 million people to read my book, so that I go to Marvel now and it's like Global Comics. And I'm like, 1 million people just read 20 issues of my book for free on Global Comics, and I'm a
Yep.
good artist. Boom, you might get hired by Marvel, because that's the end goal. So if you're using it in that sense, it makes complete sense. But again, the person I asked, they were not happy with me,
Hmm.
because they didn't understand that I wasn't saying you shouldn't be paid.
Right.
If you
It,
want readers, it's different than if you want to make money doing this.
it's like the Costco chicken, right? It's $5 for that rotisserie chicken because they'll take the loss on that to bring you in to shop because you're already there. So now you'll shop and buy other things.
Have you ever seen John Taffer and how he runs his Taffer bar pubs?
I don't know who that is.
So John Taffer does Bar Rescue on Paramount Plus and Spike.
Okay.
What he was saying is that you come, they say, "Oh, are you a new customer?" Right? So if you're a new customer, you automatically get a red napkin. You don't get a white napkin. You get a red napkin. The server introduces. It's awesome, and then the manager comes up to you and says, "How was everything?" And then what happens is that after that, he says, "Here, here's a card." Writes down $5 off chicken your next visit. Right?
Mm-hmm.
You gotta try the chicken. You gotta try the chicken. Here's $5 off the chicken. He says, "Great. Cost me $5 for the chicken." So now you come back because you're getting $5. It costs them $5 to do the chicken. Great. So you're obviously having a drink, you're having some other stuff. And then it says, "Oh, you hand the card, you order the chicken, you get it's a wash on the chicken, right?" Then what happens is that he says, "Oh my God, you got to try my cheesecake," right? So now what happens is that after 3 visits, they basically gave you a free meal of chicken. They gave
Mm-hmm.
you a free slice of cheesecake. And after 3 times, the likelihood of you coming back is 85% rate of
Hmm.
return. And it cost him $5 to get
Mm-hmm.
you back 3 times. And it's going to cost him on the fourth time. You have an 85% chance of coming back for a fourth time. And it cost him $5 to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that insane? Versing in New York City to retain a customer and get them back for a fourth time, it costs about $200 to $300
Hmm.
to get them back. So he figured out how to get somebody back for $5.
Hey, if it
Crazy,
works. Yeah. If it
crazy,
works, it
right?
works.
So that's my point, is that retention matters, and understand how to
Mm-hmm.
retain customers. People in comics should figure out how to do that,
Yeah.
especially when you have drop off on your 6 issues on issue 4. You got to get people back for issue 1, issue 2, and issue 4 in particular. So if you go issue 1, you have a coupon in your book, or you have a promo code, boom, you
Mm-hmm.
get something else off on a promo, bam, maybe it's cheaper, and you have to figure out how to retain somebody.
Well, here's the kick in the junk. And I almost said a bad word.
You could say it. It's
I
fine.
don't want to.
I'm sorry, I would force you.
No, it's okay. Well, I like to get digital copies of books to read. Okay. And I like to keep the physicals nice and pretty. So, one, if you don't offer me a digital copy, I'm usually not going to back your stuff. Two, I've seen digital copies going of even 10, the 20-page, 24-page books being upwards of $10 and $12 for digital copies. I can promise you I do not purchase them because it's ridiculous. Now, if you had a 120-page omnibus that was PDF for $12, yeah, I'm probably going to back that one. But not people want insane amounts even just for digital.
This is what I never understood, and maybe you could explain it to me. I don't like this deluxe bullshit edition on a digital.
What do you
It
mean?
rubs me the wrong way. It's like, oh, bonus stuff in your book or like a soundtrack. It's
Oh
all
yeah.
digital. Fucking cut the shit off. Seriously.
Yeah.
You're gonna charge another $7 or $8 for that shit?
Mhm.
Oh, that bothers me. And it's gotta be called out.
I did. I had that with an RPG company, and they had the core rule book, right? But the core rule book also had the soundtrack. It had all of these other things with it, like just incidentals. And I said, I don't want that. I just want the book. How much is it just for the book? Well, then it was suddenly only $35 for the book instead of 60 for all this other junk that I didn't even want. You know? So yeah, I've seen that happen a lot. I don't particularly care for it. If you want to make them as add-ons or extras, give them away something, go for it.
What I don't like is the following. I don't like it's a digital product and like you're gonna charge for like a neat cover on a digital like $3 more. Like, really, guys? Are you that
Mhm.
desperate? Are you that broke? Like, I don't punish people on digital, man.
Mhm.
Like, I don't punish somebody for something, right? Like, what's wrong with you? Like, not you particularly, but like it's
Yeah.
whatever. It's an upsetting thing for me because here I feel like you're just milking me, and
Mhm.
there's a position, right? I'm not interested in being milked out and being drained dry, right? I'm going to use another term that's going to get you and me both in trouble. I'm not interested in having the last ounce of the orange juice squeezed out of me,
Mhm.
right? Like at an anime con like this, like if I just paid $90 at a con, I'm not interested in every single guest charging me $80 for an autograph. There
Mhm.
gets a point where I just spent 90, $100 for a ticket, and I'm not interested in being bent over and screwed again. And I think it's a problem. And I think some of these celebrities have to realize that look, the con just charged me $100. You're charging me $100. They're charging me over here. This is over here. Like $1,000 is gone in 5 minutes. And I
Yeah.
think it's a problem. I think it's a huge problem. And I'm not saying these people shouldn't make their money, but like on Kickstarter on a digital, it's like you guys are the indies.
Mhm.
Why would you punish somebody and charge them an extra $5 for a digital nude cover and that, or charge for a deluxe edition? I don't get it. I feel like you're punishing your audience.
Mhm. Yeah, I never understood that. I tried to keep everything, um like even mine were 64 pages digital. I charged, I think it was $5. And I felt bad about that, but I had to do something there. And even the physical was, I think, 20 or 25 for a 64-page thing. It's I don't know. I don't know.
I think
I
I
don't
think
get it. That's
I
why I got
think
out of comics.
I think all of these people do not understand that you you have to figure out because you can't keep charging people. I mean, I'll give you an example, right? I'll ask this, right? Would you rather buy a Netflix subscription, a Paramount Plus subscription, or buy comics on
Mhm.
Kickstarter? Well, I mean, really, what's going to give you the most enjoyment?
Yeah, I know. I don't get
I,
it.
I, I,
Now if you were trying to buy the physical covers, I'd get that they, of course they're going to charge you for each book, right? But for something like digital, it's an image file that you can just attach. It's not that big a deal. I don't know. I don't get it though.
It's a pet peeve of mine. It's a pet peeve of mine, along with a variety of other things that are pet peeves of mine. There's a lot of pet peeves of mine, but this is not about me. I'm curious what you think, and I'm happy to tell people what I think. If you want to interview me and want to know what I think, they will, but they don't, because I call it down the middle, and the second I speak, it's gonna automatically be contentious. And I know it, and I'm fine with it. There's a reason why everybody who has a podcast and comps will come on my show, but they won't reciprocate. It bothers me. It bothers me. There's no doubt about it. And I have no problem explaining why. Because I just think it's bad manners, and I think it's bad, ethics. But I digress. And if you can't have me on your show, then you should at least compensate me in some format. You should absolutely reciprocate. It's just good manners. It's just good manners. In life, but I've learned the hard way that people in comics have not been raised right.
Yeah,
and maybe they need to go back to their southern roots and have some, fried chicken and a nice cold beer and jeans that fit just right.
mm-hmm.
There you go, Zach Brown for you, right?
Yeah.
There we go. So, but I digress there. But I am curious though about some other stuff that I want to talk about. So, so we touched upon a lot of stuff. So, where do you think the WNBA is going?
The what?
The WNBA. Where do you think that's going? And are we going to get Royce White in the WNBA?
I don't know who that is.
He is the Republican senatorial candidate who declared himself for the WNBA 2017 draft.
Oh my gosh. That's kind of funny.
It's brilliant. It's brilliant.
They can't keep him out according to their own rules. They can't keep him out.
Look, there's plenty of teams who need him. Look at Toronto today. They got destroyed by the Fever. I mean, they definitely need a big player on that team. I mean, I'm just saying that I think that a lot of teams could use the power here. This is a perfect opportunity for teams to really reevaluate if they want to win a championship.
Yeah,
I am all for winning here.
You can even get Bo Jackson back. You can get
Bo Jackson is a little bit busy playing his card game.
Yeah, that's why I brought him up. Yeah, I knew he had a card game coming.
I like those cards. I'm hunting down that Sophie Cunningham auto in that set. Oh my god, she looks like Mercy from Overwatch. It's sick. Like some of those cards are dope, man.
Really?
I bought one. Oh man, I bought a Paige Buchers card, like pretty cheaply. Like they're really cool. Like some of those cards are like really cool. Like I mean, they're awesome. Like you have players who like I forget what player it was, but like he's like a Death Reaper. It's amazing.
Wow.
I have no desire to play the game. I just want to collect because the artwork looks sick. It's so cool to see like Patrick Mahomes as like a magical like medieval wizard. It's so cool.
I gotta look that up.
Oh, it's amazing, dude. Like, it's not even like I don't want to play the game. I just want to collect it because I think the cards look so cool. Mm-hmm. They look so cool, right? Like, I thought it was stupid at first, and then I started looking at how these cards look, and I'm like, damn, this thing looks amazing. Like, how did I miss this? Like, you ever like? I'm sure you've been there, right?
Yeah.
You think something is stupid on the surface, and then you dive in, you're like, this isn't stupid at all. This is awesome. Like, so that's that for me.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to look that up.
I am in for a pre-order potential lottery spot if it drops, and
Nice.
I will spend the money. I'm hoping I get a hobby box, and then I'm hoping I get a blaster. I can't afford a hobby box, so like $600.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I can't afford a hobby box. I could afford like a mega box maybe for like 120, 150.
Mm-hmm.
But I could afford like two blasters for like 30 a piece. I'll be thrilled with two blasters. Yeah, like that's what I really want. And I hope I get a promo pack for my $5
Yeah.
down. That'd be great. That'd be awesome. I'd be such a happy camper at that level. But yeah, I thought it was stupid at first. Patrick Mahomes as like a Murloc wizard.
I can't wait to see that.
It's awesome, dude. It's like it's amazing, right? It's just amazing. But yeah, we could have Bo Jackson back in the WNBA. That'd be great. He could be the oldest player in the WNBA. It'd be great. I'm just saying.
He'd still win.
We could have so many people. We could bring Allen Iverson back.
Oh my lord.
We could bring Byron Burden.
Yep. I just looked at it, and one of the cards is the old 16-bit Tecmo Bowl Bo Jackson.
Oh yeah, that's
hilarious.
Great, right?
I need that.
It's so brilliant. Like you don't even want to play the game, right? You just want to collect
exactly.
it, right?
I just want that card.
You just want to collect it because they're so cool, right? Like it's. I thought this was stupid on its surface. I'm a Paige Becker's fan, so I bought that one graded, and it wasn't expensive. I was willing to spend $30. I got it for like 12, which I was excited about that too. I got it for a good price. But not the point. I'm like, this is such a stupid idea, and then you start looking at it, you're like, oh my god, this is brilliant. Wow. Who cares about playing? Like fuck that. Like I just want really cool cards that you just look at them and you're like, god damn, man. How come nobody thought of it first? How come I didn't think of this first? Like I could have easily built this whole set out. Easily.
Wow.
20 minutes. Like, oh, it would be great. It would, just like you got Nolan Ryan in there. Oh,
everything is sold out. I'm looking at it now. Yeah, everything is sold out.
The release, you could put down $5 for the next release that's coming out for the 2026 stuff.
Oh, okay.
So if you put down $5, you get a lottery spot. Oh. And you're guaranteed at least a blaster. It's great. I know, right?
Guaranteed, if you get the hobby box, guaranteed one on-card autograph per box.
Wow. I don't even want the hobby. I just want some blasters to crack open on like my YouTube channel. It'd be so much fun. It'd be so much fun. Like that. That's where I'm at. It's great.
That is neat.
But you're guaranteed if you put down the $5 to get blasters when they drop. But it's brilliant what they did because they have your phone. They have my phone number, so they text me every day and they send me an email with my $5. Okay. Got me for that, but they're guaranteeing me a promo pack and the ability to buy some blasters.
Nice. That's how this game here, Cataclysm Arcade, they did that. They did something similar where I put down. I think it was I gave them $10 because it was $5 per pack, and they would send you the packs of cards. And then that money comes off of whatever you pledge on their Kickstarter thing.
That's kind of what they're doing.
Yeah.
And I think it's brilliant, right?
Heck yeah.
But I can't wait for it. I'm just waiting for it to drop. And
I got to see it. When you get it, let me know.
I mean, I'm hoping that I get 2 blasters or 3.
I have faith. I think you will.
I think it's brilliant, and it's gonna be such a fun rip. It's gonna be such a fun rip.
Oh my god! Yeah.
Even though I probably can't afford it, but I'll figure out a way. I'm resourceful on how to figure out how to get money. I'll be okay. Is the point? Depending on how the Dodgers do, which is up in the air right now. It's 7-5. They're playing like the Rockies. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. I don't understand. The Dodgers can beat the Brewers with no problems, which is the best team in baseball, and they struggle against the Rockies, who suck. It's mind blown, right? But I digress. But anyway, we don't have to talk about the WNBA. We could talk about Iran next if you so choose, but we don't have to talk about that either.
Well,
we could talk
I
about
do-
Andrew Wilson versus Candace Owens. That was fun.
or how Alex Stein is finally going to be able to have his big booty Latina now that AOC left her man.
Did she really leave her man?
Yeah, but no, I do have to get up at 5 because I got to take my kid to the doctor, so I am going to have to get going.
Well, in that note, I do want to give you a chance to promote yourself. Where can people find you, bother you, disturb you, hit you up? Check out everything you're doing. I have the link for people to sign up in the description. So that link's there, everybody, if you want to sign up for when this launches. But everything in between where people can find you, bother you, hit you up.
Yeah, my main thing is Laughing Rogue PA on X. Of course, I'm Laughing Rogue on, or is it author Chris Brown? One of those things on Facebook, which I don't really use anymore. And of course, Laughing Rogue on YouTube. That's pretty much my main ones.
And then my stuff is pretty much, Pop Anime Comics. Sometimes on Twitter. I am suspended on Twitter.
So are you?
Yeah, but not for the reasons people think. Somebody was calling me a degenerate gambler, so I said I slept with their mom. They said their mom was dead, and I said, well, she was alive last night. So X/Twitter did not like that, and I thought it was funny. A few other people thought it was funny.
I would have said my back hurts from the shoveling. I mean, stuff like that. Yeah.
The person clearly did not like that statement. I thought it was hilarious. Don't call me a degenerate gambler. And lesson learned. I cut deep, everybody. And I'm doing okay at the moment right now with betting. Depending on how the Dodgers do, we got a whole nother inning to go through with them. It's whatever. I'll tell everybody where we're at with this. So we're in the top of the ninth, everybody. So basically, we got a whole another inning to go through, and they're up by 2 runs. So who knows what the hell is going to happen with them? But I'm okay overall. I only have $25 on the Dodgers. Just want to make that crystal clear. I do not have a gambling problem. Do not ask. But I'll be really pissed because if they lose, I'm legitimately like $13 away from $500 in the last 10 days of making. So I'm going to be furious. I'm going to be not because I lost $25, but because it would have been a great feat. But anyway, not the point here. I have another Twitter where I share my gambling advice called his name is King9. So you could bother me there. And I tweet a lot about the NBA. I typically yell at coaches. I troll Jason Whitlock a lot with Stephen A. Smith memes because he's a big fan of Stephen A. Smith. The other day, I think I did like 150 on one of his posts. I go deep too. I'm really trying to. I have a good time on X/Twitter, so you should follow me, everybody there. I have Bob Anime Comics on Instagram. I am less mean on Instagram. I promise you. I'm very, very nice on Instagram. And I like to have a good time on Instagram. I am Pop Anime Comics on Facebook. You can bother me there. You can find me on my personal Facebook if you so choose. It's not hard to find me. I'm pretty accessible. In my other Instagram is Big Boy Card Collecting. I have a good time there too. I interact with a lot of people there. It's very community centric around cards. YouTube obviously is Pop Anime Comics. TikTok is Pop Anime Comics. What else do I have? The eBay. Here we go.
Yep.
eBay, guys. Absolutely. As soon as I pull up my nice little image here, eBay is this. Look for comics and collectibles. Come shop with us on eBay. And I got a lot of stuff in my eBay store, everybody. So I got stuff like this in my eBay store. I have stuff like this in my eBay store. This was in my eBay store, which is super rare cards. I just sold a $600 card in my eBay store the other day. I do have stuff like this in my eBay store right now. So good old Caitlin Clark. Big card right there. I'm asking a lot for it. I'm asking $300 for that puppy. It's a good one. And then stuff like this sometimes comes into my eBay store. Really expensive stuff. So yeah. And then I have these in my eBay store. If you like Angel Reese, which that's her Chicago card, but she doesn't play in Chicago. She plays on the Dream, and I think they beat the Liberty. So there you go, right there. So good win for her. but yeah, so that's the stuff that I carry. I carry comics, cards, all that stuff. So, and I've been saying it for a while is that if first off, if you're looking for comics and cards, go to my eBay store, browse through it. If you see what you're looking for, you can always make me an offer. I don't yell, I don't bark, I don't attack. If it's not good enough, the worst thing that I'm gonna say is no, thank you. And if you are looking for some stuff and you don't find it, ask me in eBay and even my eBay store because I may have it and I'm happy to list it because I do move a lot of merch around a lot of
Mhm.
the time, and I'm happy to list it for you. And if I don't have it, I know a lot of people in comics and a lot of people in cards, and I'm happy to direct you to the right person because I carry certain stuff that other people don't carry. A perfect example is that Sophie Cunningham card, everybody. Those cards sold out, and I'm the only one who sold them on eBay. And there was 10 of them in the world, and I had 3 of them. And so, you know, I'm presuming that if somebody else had them on eBay and I ran out of it and somebody was looking for it, I would have directed you right to that other person, and I would have been happy to do it. And hopefully other people do that for me.
Hmm.
But that's my whole thing. So again, you don't know what's coming into my eBay store. There might be something interesting on Thursday if I get it. Um, I'm not going to tell you what it is. It's not like sexual. I just don't want to tip my hat off before I have it.
Mhm.
But it's going to be a high end launch. Super cool card set. Um, Probably $400 or $500 in
Nice.
my eBay store if I get it. If I get it.
Yeah.
It's going to be a bloodbath. Um, while I'm driving through Pennsylvania, preferably through Harrisburg. So, you
Mhm.
know, I'm traveling to Pennsylvania on Thursday,
Are you?
everybody. So I am. I'm gonna be about an hour and a half outside of Pittsburgh.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
so
I was
so
gonna
so,
say
so
if you're down near Harrisburg, you're about a half hour, 45 minutes from me.
yeah. So I'm seeing my sister and my nieces.
Good.
So it'll be fun, guys. It'll be fun.
You do.
So I'm not gonna be available pretty much for the whole weekend. Um, but it's gonna be fun, right? But that launch is gonna be big. If I get it, but I don't want to put the cart. What
Yeah.
was the saying?
Put
The
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 cart before the horse. Yeah.
yes. So
And
that's the thing.
if you're hitting the Harrisburg Comic Con, I think it's this weekend. When you'll be down, let me know and we'll meet up.
I'm probably leaving Saturday.
Okay.
And I'm not going for that reason. I'm going for a different reason completely. Um, I'll be honest. I'd rather hang out with my nieces because
Hmm. Oh,
I
if
don't
I had
see it.
feelings, they'd be hurt.
No, it's not like anything. Again. If I was going for a Comic Con, I would go, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I don't see my nieces, and I want to hang out with my nieces because they were up here about 3 months ago. So that's the reason for the trip, right? Um, but if they're acting difficult, maybe I'll sneak out and go to the Comic Con. Yeah. One of them is 4 and the other's like 2.5, right? So you
Ah,
don't know what mood they're gonna be in. But I digress. Basically, if you want to come bother me, I am Pop Anime Comics. I don't bite. I'm pretty accessible. Shoot me a message on any of my social media, and I'm happy to talk about anything cards, uh, politics, the New York Liberty, the Dodgers, WWE, society, alcohol, some other stuff maybe that I can't mention here. Yeah. Hey. But I like talking about cards and implied probability. And if you want to learn
yeah.
how to card count, I can teach you how to do it, but I don't recommend it because it could end really good or really bad in a casino.
Yeah.
So on that note, everybody, I'm gonna pretty much say that's all I got going on, and yeah, I'm gonna give you the final word.
Um. Gosh, I wasn't expecting that. Support your locals, um, but don't be afraid to call out those that deserve it.
I don't think I could have said that any better myself, everybody, and that is a